Your film CulDeSac, where did the idea for that come from, and what made you want to make that film?
Yeah, the film was pretty much inspired by just events that I observed growing up in North Jacksonville, Florida. So pretty much based on a true story, but not exactly. My freshman year of college, during the first winter break, I went back home, and there was a group home down the street from my parents' house. And my mom would let me know that, like, during the finals week, one of those group home kids had passed away from an accident. Something completely different from necessarily the film, but his brother did accidentally kill him. So at that time in my life, it was like I was having a lot of opportunity. When I went to college, I was getting out of my hometown and seeing all this new stuff and learning all these new things. And it really like set into me that like this kid was only 15 and he didn't get that experience. So I kind of wanted to tell a story that would, yeah, just to tell his story since he couldn't.
What was the post-production process like for CulDeSac?
Yeah, I think that's where the story really came together. We actually did pretty good getting the final version of the film pretty similar to what it was written as. So it started with a good script, but I had a really great editor, Christy League, and we pretty much sat down and started scene by scene putting these pieces together. And part of the time on set was there was a whole day that we kind of just let the kids do their thing and improvise a lot of stuff because we wanted to capture just the innocence and the natural setting of kids in a neighborhood not having any restrictions. So in the editing process, that was when we really had to decide, like, we have all this footage and all these moments, like, what are the one moments or the few moments that really highlight like these characters? As far as like the reverse footage, we were really just trying to get that scene to feel a little otherworldly because at that point in the film, Jeremiah is a ghost. So it's not really him, it's like his spirit. And so the dance that he does at the end of the film, it just kind of puts the moment in time, like, you know, if this could all be undone and just to kind of sit with that. And then as far as the voiceovers, that was really influenced by there's this movie called George Washington by a filmmaker named David Gordon Green. Terrence Malick, he uses voiceovers in some of these classic films, and it's like usually poetry in those films. So it did kind of start also with poetry for this film. And then once I realized like a child's reading the poetry, it didn't really read the same way as naturally like as an adult writing. So she kind of took those words and improvised them a little bit, and we just got it to a point where it's like this sounds something more natural. Yeah. The film Dark Knight was another big inspiration for the film because the way that the director Tim Sutton, he talks a lot about the state of gun violence today in America.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's always kind of like risky to tell a story about something so dark, and especially to have an ending that's not just like a payoff ending that makes the audience happy. That, like that film Elephant about the Columbine shooting.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I was a little afraid to write the script or to share the story in that way. But what I realized is like, it's not really to make a judgment or commentary. It's kind of just to show like, this is life and all of its great moments. And unfortunately, this is also part of life and it's sad. But I felt like it was a story that needed to be shared. And like, I think the way Tim Sutton approached the material with Dark Knight, it really made me feel like, okay, something as tragic as the Aurora shootings during the Dark Knight movie premiere, you know, can be addressed in filmmaking. And I think that's like the importance of filmmaking, is to like give a voice to people who can't speak and to look at like the realities of like, you know, this is the state of the times that we live in, unfortunately.
Are you working on any other projects or anything right now?
Yeah, so lately I've been kind of just adjusting to moving, and I'm just trying to network here in Atlanta. So I've been working for hire for a lot of my friends' projects. I just worked on my first TV show here that was like a SAG affiliated. So that was a good experience to get some like industry experience. But I definitely have some ideas, and I think I've realized that my focus, I really wanted to be in writing. So this film that I've been working on writing, it's called Frankie Raps, and he's basically a teenage kid in high school who it's kind of like School of Rock, but like with more of a jazz band twist on it.
Spencer Shack, thanks for talking with us.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.